All right, let's talk about one of Shakespeare's absolute classics, As You Like It. This isn't just any romantic comedy. It's basically a story about hitting the eject button on a world that's falling apart and finding out who you really are in a brand new place. It's fantastic. Let's jump in. So, the whole thing kicks off with a really big question, right? Imagine your world is just toxic. We're talking jealousy, your own family turning on you, total injustice everywhere. What do you do? What can you do? Well, the answer the play gives is both super simple and kind of radical. You get out. You run. As You Like It is all about that escape, ditching a corrupt, broken system to build something new, to find freedom, love, and maybe even a little bit of truth. And you see this right away. Shakespeare sets up these two totally opposite worlds. You've got the court, which is this paranoid, dangerous place full of backstabbing and political games. And then there's the Forest of Arden. Now, it's not a paradise, it has its own challenges, but it offers this incredible sense of freedom that the court could never, ever provide. Okay, so let's start where our characters start. Stuck in that kingdom of conflict. I mean, a place so messed up that getting out isn't just an option, it's the only sane thing to do. So what's the problem? Well, it all boils down to family feuds. You've got two sets of brothers at war with each other. First, Duke Frederick steals the throne from his own older brother, Duke Sr., and kicks him out into the forest. Then you've got this nobleman, Oliver, who is just horrible to his younger brother, Orlando. He denies him his inheritance, refuses to educate him, and get this, he even tries to have him killed. And for what? Just pure nasty jealousy. The whole system, the family unit, it's just completely shattered. And then you get the tipping point, the final straw. The paranoid Duke Frederick gets worried that his niece, Rosalind, is a little too popular. She's the daughter of the Duke he exiled, right? So he just banishes her, just like that. And this single act of cruelty is the spark that lights the whole fire, sending our heroes on their way. So, what do? They hatch a plan. Rosalind's cousin, Celia, who is Duke Frederick's own daughter, by the way, is fiercely loyal. She's like, no way, I'm not staying here without you. So they decide to run away together. But to be safe, they need disguises. Rosalind dresses up as a young man named Ganymede. Celia pretends to be a shepherdess named Alina. And for good measure, they drag the hilarious court jester Touchstone along for the ride. And where are they headed? The Forest of Arden. And listen, this is way more than just a change of location. It's a whole new reality. A place where all the stuffy rules of the court get thrown out the window, and everyone has a chance to be someone new. Duke Sr., who's already there, he totally gets it. He has this amazing line where he says, "Sweet are the uses of adversity." He's basically saying that, yeah, the forest is tough, the wind is cold, it's not comfortable, but it's real. It's more honest than all the fake smiles and flattery back at court. He starts to see wisdom everywhere, finding, as he says, tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. It's beautiful, right? But not everyone in the forest is a happy camper. And this brings us to one of Shakespeare's most interesting characters, Jacques. He's this lord hanging out with Duke Sr., and he's a total downer. He's the resident philosopher of gloom. While everyone else is loving the freedom, Jacques just stands on the sidelines, making these really clever but super cynical comments about everything. And he's the guy who gives us that legendary line, "All the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players." See, for him, life isn't some grand adventure. Nope. It's just a script we're all forced to follow, a 7-act play that ends the same for everyone. And he lays it all out, the 7 ages of man. You start as a puking infant, then you're the complaining schoolboy, the dramatic lover, the hot-headed soldier, the know-it-all judge, and then it's all downhill into old age and second childishness, ending with nothing. It's such a bleak view of life, which is kind of hilarious because it's dropped right into the middle of this feel-good romantic comedy. But here's the thing. Jacques is wrong, or at least the play suggests he is, because Arden isn't a rigid script at all. It's an improv stage, especially for love. And with our main characters running around in disguise, things are going to get messy and really, really funny. So, remember Orlando, the guy with the terrible brother? Well, he's escaped to Arden too. And what's the first thing he does? He goes full-on hopeless romantic, carving Rosalind's name into tree trunks and littering the forest with these cheesy, awful love poems. It's kind of sweet, but also yikes. And the best part? He has no clue that the girl he's swooning over is right there in the same forest. Okay, now this is where the play becomes absolutely brilliant. Rosalind, still disguised as the boy Ganymede, bumps into Orlando, and instead of revealing herself, she does something amazing. She offers to cure him of his love. How? She, as Ganymede, will pretend to be Rosalind so that Orlando can practice his wooing skills on him. I know, it's wild. He actually agrees, and this kicks off this incredibly funny and surprisingly deep game about love and who we pretend to be. And this setup creates the most wonderfully chaotic love tangle you can imagine. Let's get this straight. Orlando loves Rosalind. Rosalind is pretending to be a boy, Ganymede. Orlando is practicing his love for Rosalind on Ganymede. But wait, there's more. A local shepherdess, Phoebe, brutally rejects a guy who's crazy about her, Sylvius, only to fall madly in love with, you guessed it, Ganymede. It's a total hilarious mess of mistaken identity. So you're probably thinking, how on earth does Shakespeare fix this? How does he untangle this knot? Well, this is a comedy, so he does it with a sudden burst of completely unbelievable, joyful, almost magical solutions. The play doesn't wrap up with one wedding. Not two, not even three. We get 4 weddings, a quadruple wedding. Everybody gets paired up and gets their happy ending all at once. And it happens so fast it'll give you whiplash. First, Orlando's evil brother Oliver shows up, gets saved from a lion by Orlando, and instantly becomes a good guy and falls in love with Celia. Then, boom, Rosalind reveals she's a woman, which magically solves the whole Phoebe, Sylvius, Ganymede problem. The 4 couples are ready to get married, and right at that moment, someone runs in with news. The evil Duke Frederick randomly met a hermit, found religion, and is giving the kingdom back. It's this incredible, everything is perfect now ending that just makes you smile. So why do we still talk about this play 400 years later? What's the big deal? Well, because underneath all the cross-dressing and the clever jokes, it's really exploring some deep, timeless ideas about who we are and how we love. I mean, it's like a complete study of love itself. You get the dizzying, romantic love, for sure, but you also get this incredibly powerful friendship between Rosalind and Celia, that I'll follow you anywhere kind of loyalty. And then you see the power of forgiveness, how it can heal a family, like with Orlando and his brother Oliver. And really, the heart of the whole play is Rosalind. She is one of Shakespeare's greatest characters, hands down. She is not waiting around to be rescued. She's smart, she's funny, and she is 100% in control. By dressing up as a man, she gets a kind of freedom and power she'd never have otherwise. And she uses it to run the whole show. She directs the love story, she tests Orlando to make sure he's the real deal, and she decides her own destiny. She feels so modern. And then, in the final moments, Rosalind does something amazing. She breaks character, looks right out at the audience, at us, and gives this charming little speech asking us to like the play. It's this perfect final touch, a little wink that completely connects her world with ours. It brings it all back to the title, right? This is a story for you to enjoy however you want to, as you like it.